Welcome to this week's OK at Work with myself, Sarah Sawyer, my colleague Russell Berger from the Labor and Employment Group at Offit Kurman. So this week we are talking about incentivizing employees through salary bonuses. There's a lot of different ways to use those tools to incentivize employees, retain employees. There's a lot of different methods that I know that we've worked with our clients on, especially lately with the trends in the workplace where there's just a lot of things in flux. A lot of people trying to retain their best talent and keep people around. A lot of job openings and just a really interesting market right now. What have you been seeing, Russell?
Yeah, I think it's a real opportunity for employers that are thoughtful about how they structure compensation to gain an advantage in a competitive marketplace, and also to set themselves up well for growth and to do what they need to do from a business objective standpoint as well. And what I see in general at times are businesses that just they pay the market rate and they don't really put a whole lot of thought into their compensation. And to some extent, that's kind of how it goes, and that's part of it. And you got to be in the market rate, otherwise you're not going to get the talent that you're looking for. But the things that really, one of the things that really helps businesses grow is workers being incentivized properly to do the things that you as the business owner want them to do. And compensation is really the mechanism by which an employer can compel an employee to do certain things and spend their time on whatever the task is that the company thinks is going to help growth and make the most money.
Yeah, it's kind of the flip side of discipline. I think a lot of times people think about, trying to, it kind of depends, I guess, on what type of business owner you are. But in a lot of circumstances, if someone's frustrated, an employer's frustrated about the way that someone's spending their time or, doing things, that they might say, well, I'm going to tell them they need to do it this way and just kind of take more of a blunt approach. But there can be a lot more strategy around that. I mean, obviously, there's certain things within the workplace that do deserve disciplinary action and those types of management techniques. But, as far as managing it from a more proactive standpoint, getting the talent, retaining the talent, incentivizing people to meet certain goals and objectives of the company, and also just being bought in to the goals and missions of mission of the company and what the overall growth goals are. So I think there's a lot of opportunity there, and to your point, Russell, about how a lot of people just kind of check the box and say, okay, I'm going to make them this salary offer, and there's just this one way to do compensation. As we know at our firm, we've got a lot of quite a detailed compensation plan, but there's a lot of different ways to do it, and it can be strategically done. And if you put thought into it and really make sure that you put a good framework in place so that the employee and the employer are very clear on what the incentives are, what goals get what results, and really put a good detailed plan in place so that there's no confusion over what's owed or what the plan is.
Right. And I think, people are generally familiar with this concept. I mean, that's what commissions are. It's an incentive to close sales. But, even within commission plans, you can create a whole lot of nuance, close sales in a certain industry of, clients of a certain size. Do you reduce the commission for that client when they get into subsequent years because you want your salespeople out there finding new business? So there's a lot of strategic questions that can go into a relatively straightforward commission plan. But you can do the same thing with non-sales positions. You can have volume bonuses, for moving a certain amount of units, depending on the position. There's all different types of ways, to come up with a comp structure that is strategic and that encourages employees to do the most important parts of their job a little bit more, a little bit better, a little bit further. Whatever it is for that position, a little bit faster. You can find you figure out what's important for you, and then we can write a compensation plan. We can design a compensation plan, like I said, that's strategic, that incentivizes what you want, and just gives that little extra nudge to employees to get them to where you want to go. And certainly I understand that compensation is not like the only motivator for an employee, but it is an important one, and it is a tool that employers have to be able to, like you were saying, to nudge behavior a certain direction.
Yeah, I think it comes to mind a lot more for salespeople or for C-level employees, but it really is possible at all levels and can be really effective. And even just also we see phantom equity, different, there's different tools out there, and they can involve a little bit of legwork up front to make sure that you've got, a clear plan in place, but they really can work wonders depending on the work environment and really help align employees and employers together. So I think it's definitely something to consider at all levels and all types of businesses,
Well,
not ones with sales employees.
and if you think about it, when you said C-level folks getting incentive compensation, I mean, they're getting paid on profitability, but how do you get to profitability? You start breaking it down into each department, each component of the business. Why wouldn't you do that with compensation too? In order to be profitable, this department has to do X. Let's incentivize the employees in that department to do X.
Yeah, I think they're great points, and I look forward to seeing you next time, Russell.
Thanks, Sarah. See you next time.